Let's get rolling. Meeting of the MAG Regional Council is called to order. Melissa, if you'll take a roll call of members to establish the quorum. And then everyone, if you'll please remember to mute your device when you're not speaking. And then before you start that, Melissa, I'd like to welcome our new members, Scottsdale Mayor David Ortega, Gilbert Mayor Bridget Peterson, Tolleson Mayor Juan Rodriguez, and Apache Junction Mayor Chip Wilson. Melissa.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll go down a list of members. Please unmute your device and indicate if you're present. Mayor Barney.
Here.
Thank you. President Burnett.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Carlett.
I'm here.
Thank you. Jen Daniels.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Dickey. Mayor Gallego. Mayor Giles.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Hall.
I'm here.
Thank you. Mayor Hartkey.
Here.
Thank you. President Javier. Mayor Hermosillo.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor LaVault.
Yes, Melissa, I'm here.
Thank you, Mayor. Governor Lewis. Mayor Lord.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Molina. Mayor Osborne.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Ortega.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Pereira.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Bridget Peterson.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Les Peterson. Mayor Price.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Riggs.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Rodriguez.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Schoaf.
Here.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Smith.
Here.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Stanton. Mayor Walter. Mayor Weiss.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Woods. And I think is Mayor Dickey present?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Thanks.
sorry. Okay, thank you. Is there anyone that I missed? And our chair is present, so there is a quorum present.
All right, excellent. So MAG staff, have we received any public comments from anyone?
Thank you, Chair Wires, members of the committee. We've received no comments for this item or any other item on the agenda.
Okay, excellent. Well, we're going to move on to item number 3, the Executive Director's Report. Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things for your information this morning. You know, we've seen a lot of divisiveness in this country recently, and I really hope it doesn't spill over into the MAG world. You know, we have some really critical regional issues. We all have to work together and be prepared to do what's best for the region. Today, we'll hear an update on the homeless issue that we're facing, which is growing by the day. And to effectively deal with this, we all have to be pulling in the same direction. We all have to be together to make progress in solving this important issue. Of course, the extension of Proposition 400 is absolutely critical for the region to continue to prosper. We know we won't have enough money to do everything, and many of the projects that your staff submitted for consideration won't be able to be funded from a regional perspective. This region has a great track record of coming together, having civil discussions, and making good regional decisions that have greatly improved the quality of life and continues to make the MAG region an attractive place to live and work. We have to continue to follow that path. We have to continue to work together. And as we put together the investment plan for the extension, I ask you to think and act regionally. It's going to be very important that we find the best projects for the limited amount of funding we have, so we can continue to improve the quality of life in this region. So we go to the next slide. Just one thing we want to bring to your attention. After 25 years, our magazine, our quarterly magazine, is going to move online totally. We're going to drop the printed version of that. Seems to make sense, certainly in this pandemic world that we live in today, and the great advances we made in telecommuting and electronic communications. Our public outreach has evolved to emphasize digital platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and the such. and our online content allows us to be much more nimble and cost effective. So we're actually doing a lot of changes in terms of the formatting and some of the regular features that we have in our magazine. So look for that. And we'll continue to feature all the sources on our news blog, which is available on our website at azmag.gov. So, Mr. Chairman, that completes my report. Thank you.
Okay, Eric, thank you. So moving on to item number 4, approval of the consent agenda. Our next item is just that. It's items 4A through 4T. And item number 6 are on the consent agenda. Any member of the regional council have any questions or request a presentation on any of the items? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve. This is Kathy Carlett.
I'll second that. Bridget Peterson.
Okay, I have a motion from Mayor Carlett, a second from Mayor Peterson. Any discussion? Hearing none, Melissa, will you take a roll call?
Thank you, Chair Wires. I will call your name. Please indicate how you vote. Mayor Barney.
Yes.
Thank you. President Burnett.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Carlett.
Yes.
Thank you. Jen Daniels.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Dickey. Mayor Gallego. Mayor Giles.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hartke.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor LaVault. Thank you. Mayor Lord.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Molina. Mayor Osborne.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Ortega.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Pereira.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Bridget Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Les Peterson. Mayor Price.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Riggs.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Schoaf.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Weiss.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Woods. And our chair, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Thank you. The consent agenda carries unanimously.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 5, Active People, Healthy Nation Proclamation. Meg Transportation Staff, Jason Stevens will begin this report. Jason?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Regional Council. Just to give you some context for this proclamation, approximately a year ago, the CDC launched this effort. At the same time, MAG was wrapping up its active transportation plan effort. Some elements of this Active People, Healthy Nation effort really aligned with our active transportation effort. Specifically getting 27 million people to be active by 2027. And some of the ways they wanted to do that was through bicycling and walking. So of course, that aligned with the active transportation plan effort. So I immediately called the CDC, the person at the CDC who was running the program, and asked him if it was possible that the CDC could endorse the active transportation plan at MAG. That might have been a little ambitious. So it's a very large organization, the CDC. So I said, well, how about a proclamation that maybe regional bodies could formally support this? And I figured we could do that through our active transportation plan. The gentleman at the time who was running the program said, hey, that sounds like a good idea. Let's work on that. A year later, here we are. The CDC developed a customizable proclamation. MAG customized it to our region, and through several different strategies that regional bodies could adopt, we chose the activity-friendly routes to everyday destinations, which again aligns with the active transportation plan passed by Regional Council in February of 2020. And so here we are today, looking to support this CDC effort, and as it aligns with our active transportation plan here at MAG. And with that, I would like to introduce Caitlin Graff of the CDC to say a few words to the Regional Council.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Jason. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. As Jason said, my name is Caitlin Graff, and I provide support to Active People Healthy Nation, which, as you heard, is our national initiative to promote getting 27 million people more physically active by 2027. Thank you so much for letting me have some time at your meeting today. We are so excited to see that this is on the agenda in terms of adopting the Active People Healthy Nation Proclamation. And we're even more excited to announce that if you adopt it, you will be a trendsetter as the first regional government in the country to adopt it. So we really appreciate seeing all of your support. By adopting this proclamation, you are showing your support for creating activity-friendly communities, which are so essential to creating safe and convenient opportunities for people to get physical activity. Physical activity is one of the best things that people can do for their health. And there are benefits that happen both immediately and over time. Your commitment to activity-friendly communities can pay off in a number of ways, including lower rates of chronic disease, lower healthcare costs, and a higher quality of life. It can also support local economies, neighborhood revitalization, and improve safety for those who walk, who ride bicycles, rely on wheelchairs for their mobility, and drive. So thank you so much to the Maricopa region for your support of the Active People Healthy Nation initiative. It shows that through all of our work, we can create a more active America together. We are also particularly grateful to the Maricopa Association of Government Staff for their efforts. And I particularly want to call out and mention Jason Stevens, who provided that initial encouragement, as you heard, for us to develop this model Active People Proclamation. If you're interested in learning more about Active People Healthy Nation, and if you want to join and receive our monthly newsletter, then you can visit our website and I can put the link in the chat box. We are actually going to be highlighting this work in the proclamation in our February edition, which is going to go out to people all over the country. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our remarks on this today. I'm happy to take any questions. This item is on the agenda for action.
All right, Jason, thank you. I don't know if everybody noticed or not, but to our right, to his left, he happens to have a bicycle in the room. I don't know if it was planned or not, but good visual, Jason. Good job.
Thank you. It sits there all day, so. Yeah.
Okay, so do we have any questions from the membership?
Mr. Chairman, Mayor Ortega here. Scottsdale is a very active and friendly, bike-friendly community, and certainly would support this. So accordingly, I would move for adoption of the proclamation.
Second, Kate Gallego.
Okay, so we do have a motion. We have a second. So Melissa, if you would go ahead and take a vote, please.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I'll call your name. Please indicate how you vote. Mayor Barney.
Aye.
Thank you. President Burnett.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Carlett.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Daniels. Jen Daniels.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Dickey.
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Gallego.
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Giles.
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hartke.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor LaVault.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Lord.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Osborne.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Ortega.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Pereira.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Bridget Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Les Peterson. Mayor Price.
Yes.
Mayor Riggs.
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mayor Schoaf.
Yes.
What happened?
Mayor Shelf voted yes.
I don't know what happened to Melissa, but I'll continue the roll call. Vice Mayor Smith,
Yes.
Mayor Weiss,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Woods, and Mayor Wires.
Chair votes aye.
Thank you. Passes unanimously.
Very good, thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to item 7B, and item 6 was already on consensus update on regional homeless planning efforts. MEG Deputy Director, Director Amy St. Peter will give us a report. Amy?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the MAG Regional Council, for this opportunity to provide an update on efforts to strengthen the region's infrastructure to address homelessness. This update will include a response to the 2 requests received at your meeting last month. We continue to make progress toward the goal of having a portfolio of strategies for your consideration and action at your May Regional Council meeting. Since your last meeting, we have launched a series of forums to include diverse perspectives in this work. It is critical to embed this work within the expertise of nonprofit providers. We intentionally began the series with a forum with the leadership from the nonprofit agencies with nearly 70 people in attendance. 2 more forums will be held with the nonprofit staff in just the next few weeks. Over the next 2 months, we will continue the series with a variety of forums with important stakeholders, such as education, philanthropy, and the faith community. The series will culminate with forums for the business community, and we will hold a forum for you as our elected leadership. This will give us an opportunity to share with you the insights gleaned from all of the previous forums and to gather your input on the strategies developed on the results of that feedback. We're excited to partner with experts within each forum. Arizona Town Hall is now partnering with us to share their expertise in facilitation, recording, and reporting. The members of the Regional Collaborative on Homelessness continue to share their expertise and to support these forums as well. In addition to the outreach, data continues to be central to these efforts. We have completed our research of the most effective practices nationally. We've also completed an inventory of the local strategies and priorities to address homelessness. The national and those local strategies are being compiled into a regional portfolio. This will be further refined and vetted through the basis of the outreach as well as additional research. And again, the portfolio will be offered for your action in May with an implementation plan to follow in August. We're working to define the investments underway and already made by communities throughout the region. Understanding this will help us to determine appropriate fundraising targets as we seek to implement the new strategies. We've also launched a study to help us better understand the considerations when citing new homeless services, housing, and shelter. This will help us to reach our goal of geographically dispersing the assistance described in those described in those regional strategies. In response to requests received for an asset map as well as a needs assessment, we are developing an interactive mapping tool to show the assets available to address homelessness as well as the areas of need. Feedback from your municipal human services directors are helping to direct and shape this work. In response to a request received at Management Committee just earlier this month, we have developed a survey to collect information about law enforcement's role in addressing homelessness and to connecting people experiencing homelessness with assistance. The Arizona Chiefs of Police Association, we're very excited to announce, has confirmed that they will send out the survey to their membership. We have appreciated assistance received already from Buckeye and Peoria PD and are in the process of reaching out to other law enforcement agencies to further inform this work. There are a number of best practices underway right now in our communities, such as in Phoenix and in Mesa. During the discussion at last month's Regional Council meeting, we received 2 requests. One request focused on describing MAG's role in regional homeless planning, and the second was to assess our staffing needs in this important work. The document describing MAG's role that was sent out with the materials for this meeting does address both of those requests. Drawing from our history of staffing the continuum of care since 1999, the role of MAG in regional homeless planning is to drive the development of regional strategies and actions that will move people from homelessness into housing. Guiding principles will ensure this work is regional in focus, inclusive in outreach, sustainable for the long term, and accountable to ensure success and accountability moving forward. The document also includes 3 recommendations. 1, to better align this regional council with the continuum of care. 2, to develop regional strategies to strengthen the region's infrastructure to address homelessness. And then 3, to consider adding 2 staff members to support this work. We assessed our staffing needs in light of the work now as well as in the future. We also compared our staffing structure to other continuums of care throughout the country. We currently have 4 full-time staff exclusively dedicated to regional homeless planning. We leverage staff from other teams and divisions within MAG to supplement this support. When we consider how our work is staffed and when compared to other peer regions across the country, we found that we are significantly understaffed. Peer regions like Denver offer a stark comparison. Denver has 2.9 million people in population compared to our 4.5. They reported more than 6,000 people experiencing homelessness compared to our 7,000. They have 9 people staffing just their continuum of care alone, not including support from additional 11 staff members who work in other programs related to homelessness. Again, while Denver has 9 continuum of care staff, we have 4. When we calculate the per capita average of other peer regions and communities across the country and apply that to our region, our staffing would increase to 12 people. This request then to add 2 more staff for a total of 6 is still less than our peer regions, but this will meet our needs. If approved, we plan to supplement these positions by continuing to leverage staff in other areas of MAG as well as through our external partners. Specifically, we recommend adding a data analyst within the Regional Analytics Division. This will help us to ensure that we have more capacity to continue delivering high-quality data. Additionally, we propose adding a program manager within the Human Services Division. This will ensure we can focus on the needs of the region while maintaining federal support that is so critical to our programs. During the executive committee meeting earlier this month, we received the recommendation to focus on strategic partnerships with these new staff positions. We wholeheartedly support this focus and see this as a core function of the proposed program manager. Relationships and partnerships are critical to the success of these efforts moving forward. The action then that is for your consideration today is to approve the MAG role document and the 2 requested staff positions. The Maricopa Regional Continuum of Care Board and the MAG Management Committee both recommended approval of this action during their meetings just earlier this month. The Continuum of Care sees the description of MAG's role as a working document with additional refinements to be made as the discussion and the work continue. They are very much in support of MAG's role and as well as the additional staff support. And we received similar support on Management Committee earlier this month. So in conclusion, MAG's role in regional homeless planning is to serve you as our member agencies. We do this through direct engagement with you, as well as by staffing the continuum of care and working very closely, coordinating very closely with its board. We want to thank you for your time and for your support. Your feedback is truly critical as we align our activities to meet your priorities, your needs, and your expectations. We look forward to working with you in the upcoming months to make the region's homeless infrastructure more robust in all communities throughout the region. Thank you. That concludes my presentation. I would be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Amy. Questions from the membership? Okay, hearing none. Again, I'll ask again, do we have any public comments on this item?
We do not, Mr. Chair.
Okay, very good. Could I get a motion to approve a working document, MAG's role in regional homeless planning, document to approve 2 new FTE positions, also to include the data analyst and program manager staff positions?
Mayor Wires, this is Kathy Carlett. I would like to make a motion to approve and also to express my gratitude to MAG for their role in the regional homeless planning. I think it's a big step forward. Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, who made the second?
Mayor Riggs.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion from Mayor Carlott, a second from Mayor Riggs. Melissa, would you take a roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, I'll call your name. Please indicate how you vote. Mayor Barney?
Aye.
Thank you. President Burnett?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Carlott?
Yes.
Thank you. Jan Daniels?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Dickey?
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Gallego?
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Giles?
Aye, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hartke?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor LaVault?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Lord?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Osborne?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Ortega?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Bridget Peterson?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Price?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Riggs?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Schoaf?
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Stanton?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Weiss?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Woods? And Mr. Chair, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Thank you. Is there anyone that I missed? That agenda item passes unanimously.
All right, great. Okay, so we'll move on to item number 8. That does conclude all of the voting we'll be doing. The next 2 items are going to be for discussion. Agenda number 8 is for discussion in the development of the FY 2022-2023 MEG Unified Planning Work Program and their annual budget. MEG Senior Accountant Amy will just give us a report. Amy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Regional Council. MEG is inviting member feedback for the MEG fiscal years 22 and 23 Unified Planning Work Program and annual budget. The purpose of the program is to allocate MEG's funding and resources, communicate progress, and to invite feedback on the work that MEG is proposing for the next 2 fiscal years. The UPWIP was previously produced by MEG as a 1-year work program, but the Arizona Department of Transportation changed the requirement for MEG to produce a 2-year work program beginning with the fiscal years 2020 and 2021. MEG is now beginning the development of the 2-year work program for the fiscal years 2022 and 2023, which will include budgets and corresponding metrics and performance measures. MEG is not making any significant changes to the fiscal year 22 and 23 UPWIP, but we're ensuring to meet the requirements by the Government Finance Officers Association and the federal government. MEG plans to make the recommended structural changes based on the GFOA feedback from the previous UPWIP. The organization of the UPWIP will focus on MEG's divisions and projects where the projects will continue to be identified by one of the 5 core values of safe and smart travel, economy and growth, improving quality of life, environment and sustainability, and MEG operations. On the attachment for the dues and assessments, MEG is proposing to keep the member dues and assessments for both fiscal year 22 and 23 the same as the reduced fiscal year 21 member dues and assessments. To recall, the fiscal year 21 member dues were reduced this year by 20% from the originally proposed rates due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The fiscal years 22 and 23 dues and assessments proposed for qualifying members include the member dues, solid waste, water quality, 911, human services, and prevention. Changes to the dues and assessments for fiscal years 22 and 23 include the elimination of the census assessment and the 911 litigation assessment, which both ended in fiscal year 21. The other differences are with the allocation amounts for each member agency on the population estimates. The allocation amounts are based on the member agency's percentage of the population. For fiscal year 22, the July 1st, 2020 population was used, and for the fiscal year 23, the July 1st, 2021 estimated population was used. The homeless prevention assessment was originally allocated to just the CDBG recipients, However, it was suggested in the management committee that the homeless prevention assessment be allocated regionally to all members. So Meg has made this update and has reallocated to all member agencies. The other attachment is the timeline. The budget proposed timeline is being presented to provide details on the updates that we will provide for the UPWAP for the intergovernmental meetings, the management committee meetings, regional council exec committee, and the regional council. In January, we have the proposed dues and assessments and timeline. In February, we have the new projects and budget in brief. In March, we have information and review of the draft budget documents. In April, we have any information or changes to those draft budget documents. April, we have confirmed the virtual biennial intermodal planning group, where we meet with FHWA, FTA, ADOT, and others. And in May, we have the final presentation of the 22-23 UPWAP for approval. This concludes my summary presentation, and I'd like to open it for any comments or questions.
All right, thank you, Amy. Questions from our membership? Okay, hearing none. This item is on the agenda for information only. Discussion doesn't seem to be any, so we'll move on to item number 9, legislative update. Meg Policy, Government Relations Director Nathan, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Regional Council. Next slide, please. First of all, I want to start by acknowledging we have a new administration, federal administration, and Congress. Of course, we'll be tracking their activities, engaging in conversation with delegation members, as well as federal agencies on all issues that touch MAG, including homelessness, air quality, transportation. Of note in those is surface transportation reauthorization is coming up later this year. We'll be involved with conversations again with our national associations, including Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations and National Association of Regional Councils. We're also planning a meeting next month with our peer metropolitan planning organizations in the Intermountain West to discuss common issues that we're all seeing regarding transportation reauthorization. So a lot more to come on that. Turning back in time to COVID relief, last month we saw the passage of the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act signed into law. A couple notables on this includes transit funding coming to the MAG region and state of Arizona, as well as highway funding. There'll be more to come on this at the policy committee meetings in the month of February in terms of programming, allocating those funds. So more to come on that. Next slide, please. I'm pleased to report some good news. We've had a significant milestone regarding our border crossing card effort. So you might recall for some years now, we've been working on expansion of the border crossing card zone statewide into Arizona. This would allow Mexican visitors who have been screened and vetted holding a border crossing card to travel statewide in Arizona, and the report language in legislation would also include the state of New Mexico as well. Again, a significant milestone. We'd like to thank our member agencies who have kept this in their conversations with delegation members. More to come on this. The report language in the legislation is encouraging U.S. Customs and Border Protection to initiate a pilot program, and they will need to report back to congressional committees within 60 days. So we'll continue to monitor this. If you are having conversations with your congressional delegation members, we encourage you to continue supporting this so that we can see this through to the development of a pilot program. So thanks for everyone for supporting this along the way. Next slide, please. Of course, the Arizona legislature is in session. Enabling legislation for the Proposition 400 extension continues to be top of mind. Next slide, please. But by way of reminder, MAG policy principles, which were approved in October of last year, next slide, please. We do have a position on this, which would support the continued development of a MAG regional transportation plan, along with future pursuit of enabling legislation that would allow extension of the regional tax for transportation to be put before voters. So what does that mean? It really means that we are in the middle of our plan development process. There's a lot more to come, obviously, on that. Discussions around scenarios, trade-offs are upcoming in the next few months. In fact, next slide, please. You can see the timeline here. We've collected, of course, your projects in the full needs catalog. The cost estimates have been ongoing. Next slide, please. And we're heading into a period of, you can see step 4, the scenarios of trade-off analysis. So this is where we're going to really have those conversations about regional needs, trade-offs between member agencies, and where we go for the next 20 years in our regional transportation plan. With all this said, as I mentioned, there is interest in enabling legislation by members of the legislature. While the details are unknown, we are aware that there might be a bill introduced soon that could be a half-cent continuation of the regional sales tax for transportation, or potentially 3/4 of a cent. So the details are forthcoming on that. We have been in conversation with members of the legislature. That is ongoing, of course. And MAG leadership, elected officials, have also been in conversations with members of the legislature. So while we are encouraged by the level of interest that members of the legislature have shown us, we continue to remind them that we are in our planned process and that we have a lot more to learn in terms of our conversations with each other regarding trade-offs, and that our preferred approach would be to walk through our plan development process, have a draft investment plan, and be better unified around our talking points for enabling legislation heading into the 22 session. However, with all that being said, our conversations with legislators, if they really want to push for legislation this session, would be an issue of parity. Currently, 14 counties, all the other counties in the state of Arizona, have the ability, the authority to call to the voters a ballot up to 1 full cent. Maricopa County is the only county that does not have this authority. So really, we're looking for parity with the other counties, and that's the message being sent. I'd like to thank our mayors who have been consistently delivering this message to members of the legislature. So these conversations are obviously ongoing and a lot more to learn. I did fail to mention in that timeline and the step 4 scenarios of trade-off analysis, we are also working with a survey out in the field, gauging voters on their thoughts about all this as well. So that's going to be really important to feed into our conversations about trade-off analysis. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Questions for Nathan? Okay, looks like you got off the.
Sorry, Chair. This is Jen Daniels. I do have just a couple questions, if I may.
Jen, good to hear from you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Nathan, thank you for the presentation and for the update. Question for you on the timing of the survey that's going out to the citizens. Can you elaborate on the timing and when that information may be available to us as a council?
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Daniels, that survey is ongoing currently. We are seeing a little bit of survey fatigue, if you will, coming out of the general election cycle, and a lot of what's been going on nationally. So we'll be out in the field a little longer than we had imagined, but looking to have a really robust survey instrument and responses. So we'll be working through the month of February on that, and hope to have survey results for you more along the March and April timeframe as we collect those. It's a little bit slower in terms of our response rate than we're looking for, but we'd rather not push this along and get a good, again, robust response from voters.
Terrific. Will we as a regional council be able to review the questions that you'll be asking the citizens, or is that already firm and is it already, I guess, in the hands of the surveyors?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Daniels, that survey is out in the field right now. So those questions are already being put out to the respondents.
Terrific. Thanks for the update, Nathan.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Okay, good job, Nathan. Okay, so that was discussion only, and so we'll move on to item 10. Are there any requests by our regional council members for any items on future agendas? Hearing none, do we have any comments or announcements from the membership? Hearing none. I do want to thank you and welcome all the new mayors and elected folks. I look forward to meeting all of you in person here someday really soon, I hope. If there's no other business before this council, I guess we're going to go ahead and conclude that business is finished. And with that, the meeting is adjourned. Y'all have a great day. Be safe.
Thank you. Goodbye.